For me, I really like dark colors.
Oh, such nice detailing.
The smell is cool. Everything is cool in this car.
Maybe this one?
Can you see? The logo, everything. The idea behind the Test Drive Unlimited one was quite simple, but make something very new in the genre of racing games.
Usually in a racing game, it's select your car, select your circuits, 3, 2, 1, go.
The idea was to play in a big, huge world, an open world with other players online.
I mean, that was a big game. It was like 1,600 kilometers of road in that one. In fact, we still have like 180,000 logins every single month to that game. It's like 4 years old. We haven't released any DLC for 2.5 years, and people would come back every single day and play it.
And this, I think, is what we achieved in the first test drive.
With this game, we've really just exploded everything that was great about that game, looked at how people played that game, and done a whole lot more that we just know that nobody else is talking about. So the whole social side of things really came out of what we were seeing players do in the original game.
Community, online play, all the effort on doing this even better than the first one.
It's not a question of selecting really complicated things.
It'd be great if we could kind of bring all that back into the game.
It's about being immersed.
Being able to live the life of somebody who can afford to buy these cars, who can afford to drive these cars. So it's everything around it as well. It's in the houses, it's the yachts, it's the beautiful people, it's all the things you do with that lifestyle.
For me, it was really the possibility to develop the social aspects of the game. Really, how can players be together and play this incredible game in this open world with the beautiful cars?
Now you can go walk around, look at the car, talk with your friends because it's fully online, and talk about how great are those cars.
This is the same console that we have 6 years ago, so we have to make a bigger game. So what we have made, for example, is to add day and night cycles, it's to add weathers, real-time cast shadows, thing that makes the game even more realistic.
And on top of that, you have the whole beautiful location, these beautiful islands of Ibiza and Oahu in Hawaii.
When we were looking for a new area for the game, we wanted a real setting.
And we were talking of all that elements, what will be cool, what is high life, talk about money, talk about beautiful cars, talk about parties, and we all look each other and we think Ibiza is the right place to do that.
We had a contact over there, basically, a guy called Rafa, who's a lawyer on the island, works with the government, is a big gaming fan. Got in contact with us, said one of the things he does is work with the local government to promote the island. He loved the first game. He's heard that this next one is going to be on Ibiza. Is there anything he can do to help? So we got, Pasha in there, we got Privilege in there, and they're looking great. It's just so cool to be able to jump into your Ferrari and drive up to the front of the club and hang out. It's just awesome.
We've also worked with a very renowned DJ, which is Paul Oakenfold, and it was fantastic to have him into the game and make the music for our intro.
Making this game, on the journey of making this game, have been a tough and a really difficult one, but I think it was worth it.
I remember that in the development of TDU1, many of the developers, when they were debugging the program, they start to play, they start to drive, and sometimes they spend 15 minutes just driving and asking what I was making, what I was searching for in the game. This is the magic of TDU.
I feel excited.
We've listened to you, and we're still listening to you, and we want to do the game that you dream of playing.
And we still have this really cool pleasure of being just driving on the island for hours and meeting people.
We don't think there's anything else quite like it out there. Nothing really with that big, open, huge environment, all the licensed cars and the whole lifestyle stuff.
And that's the thing that makes me say that we reached our objective on test drive.
We're really looking forward to seeing everybody there.
Sorry for the cliche, but I think this Italian car is a very cool car.
In the game, the car I really like to drive is the Zonda 5.
I love Italian cars.
It's like you are flying. One of the decisions we had to take when we started Test Drive Unlimited 2, it was do we keep the old racing engine or do we develop a new one? And because we have been a little bit frustrated by the first one and we couldn't deliver the experience we wanted, we decided to rework and to recraft from scratch.
For this game, it was quite important how we balanced the handling out. So it's always been about this kind of balance between arcade and simulation handling. And we'd kind of reworked the whole handling to kind of achieve the aim of upgrading this for the new game.
To achieve that, what we wanted to do is to have a basis of the physics engine as realistic as possible, so everything is simulated.
With this new handling, you can drive classical car, you can drive small power cars and very high-end cars like those ones.
With this type of cars, it's the most difficult elements that the player will have to deal with is to judge how much power do I transfer to the car. And this is something we add assistances for the player to be more comfortable with.
Of course, when it's raining in TDU2, the roads get wet and the handling taking account this parameter.
It changes the way the grip on the tires are in contact with the road. We had to simulate that as close to the reality as possible.
So it's take very large variety of different cars, different handling, different kind of surface that you go on, and weathers.
What we have now, it's 90 plus cars.
So the beta side of things was an interesting one. I mean, we went into that with, you know, a couple of kind of things we chiefly wanted to achieve.
When you are developing handling, you are too close to it to judge it.
Really, there's nothing like actual players with a multitude of different configurations, playing it in a multitude of different ways, all at the same time, going wherever they fancy rather than where we tell them, to really know how the game will perform.
We have so many fans in this game that make a really, really good work, that answer our questions, make very precise feedbacks on bugs, handling, everything that counts in the game.
The other big thing for us was just trying to push up how many people were playing the game at the same time. Look what happened in the real world, because there's only so many people you can get internally playing it, even with a nice large test group. It's nothing compared to a real world play environment, so it helped us kind of emulate that.
And the good things about Test Drive is that it's a game that we will stay with the community together and continue developing.
You know, we've put our heart and souls into this game for the last few years, and we've been working with many of the fans out there to try and get it exactly right and on the nail, and we're all very excited that it's going to be coming out soon.
What we are sure is every player will find his car.
In Test Drive Unlimited 2, the key aspect is the social aspect. It's really playing online with different players.
We start from what we have seen on TDU1, but what we wanted to do for this TDU2 is to extend the social part. That is to say that every place that we will go in TDU2 is a place where you can meet people. In my own experience as a gamer, I play MMOs, and this is a huge difference between offline game and an online game. And the online game opens windows on something very huge, with no limits.
So the different social aspects came from different inspirations. It either came from typical MMO games that the team play, or from the different social media that we have, like Facebook and things like that.
Every player that is playing at the same moment you will meet, because you are playing with thousands and thousands of players at the same time.
All the different areas of the game are actually social hubs. Your house, for example, you can customize it to your taste, invite your friends over, show them your beautiful collection of cars in your garage, and basically hang out with your friends.
MMO is also about showing off.
Social aspects meant competition or even cooperation to be able to achieve challenges. other aspects of social elements was like you'll be able to group together to create a club.
The clubs, like, you know, that's what is called a guild in other MMOs, is a way to be with your friend. This is a real place.
And that's where you can go, compete between other pro racers, and basically make your club progress.
When you are driving a club car, everyone around knows that you are a very good player.
But you can also do other areas. There are other areas in the game where are social hubs.
Lobby in other games are, you know, menus with names, and you are waiting for players to come. That's very boring, and we think it was very natural just to be, you know, like in a fan exhibition with people that are coming with their cars. So that's how we all build our lobbies. So you come for waiting the beginning of the race, but you are with other players walking around, looking at the car, you can enter in their cars, and everything is very natural.
Actually, the fact that it's not just a pure racing competition, that brings up a completely different perspective. You're in an open world, you're living in a virtual, persistent world, and that brings different behaviors in the game. The social aspects actually is part of the gameplay that they're playing.
This social aspect is in the heart of the game. Our mission was to make it better and bigger.
Incredible.
I have to get into one of these. The stitches are incredible.
Today we have to make so many things go in the console, on the DVD, on the screen. It's not about just a track and some sprite around. It's a really open world, so everything that you can see.
Donc pendant le développement, nous sommes partis de décors réalistes, c'est-à-dire nous sommes partis de l'île d'Ibiza qui nous offrait un environnement réaliste et connu, et nous avons dû essayer de rester le plus proche possible de cette réalité tout en ayant des performances correspondant aux besoins d'un jeu vidéo actuel.
One of the biggest innovations in this TDU2 is the day and night cycle.
Nous avons voulu avoir un cycle jour-nuit complet et permanent, continu, ce qui a impliqué d'avoir des éclairages réalistes, d'avoir un système d'ombre dynamique, alors qu'il ne l'était pas dans le premier jeu. Au-dessus de tout ça, nous avons rajouté une véritable gestion réaliste de la météo. Dans Test Drive 2, on peut pleuvoir, on a plusieurs météos intermédiaires, on peut avoir des tempêtes, on a beaucoup travaillé cet aspect-là.
The investment that we put into the modeling of the car was huge. The car is your key avatar in the game, and we want to make sure that the car is like a jewel case.
Nous avons travaillé au niveau de l'éclairage sur le rendu de la peinture. Sur les voitures, c'est particulier, c'est qu'elles sont, on peut avoir des peintures métallisées avec ce qui donne un rendu très particulier. Nous avons beaucoup investi là-dessus, nous avons travaillé ce point précis pour avoir un comportement de la lumière sur la voiture qui soit très proche de la réalité.
We worked on the level of details inside the car. Basically, we want you to think that you can feel and hear the leather squeak when you're inside it.
How we managed to make those islands. It's a big work on realistic satellite data that we get. And then it's a work on getting people going on Ibiza, taking photos, shots about what is the vegetation, what kind of house we can get there.
Au niveau d'Ibiza, nous avons dû aussi gérer des éléments que nous n'avions pas rencontrés sur Hawaï, des points particuliers, comme par exemple les ronds-points dans le réseau routier, qui n'existent pas à Hawaï. Donc ça a demandé un travail spécifique au niveau des modélisations et au niveau des règles de conduite, au niveau de la signalétique, c'est-à-dire les panneaux de signalisation et des intelligences artificielles.
We think we really managed to make something beautiful and something that can bring the new experience to the players.